Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Samantha and today I have a 20-minute at-home yoga video for you all. I know it's kind of a weird time with everything that's going on, but the only thing we really can do is make the most out of it. So I encourage you to find a spot in your house. You don't need any equipment here. Just sit down for 20 minutes dedicated to yourself and flow with me. So let's get started. Alright, we're going to get started in an easy seat, also known as Sukhasana. If you'd like, you can extend your legs instead if that feels more comfortable. So finding a starting position to start your practice will take a few moments to breathe together. So inhale, fill up the lungs, chest expands. Filling up through the nose, holding at the top. And then exhale us out through the mouth. Let it go. Letting go anything that doesn't serve you in this class today, let it all go. We'll start with some easy stretches. So reaching the right arm to the side, left arm swings up and around, creating an arch above the head, opening up the left side obliques. And switch, left hand comes down, right arm creates an arch. Really feel the opening of the side body here. And change back to center. Right hand comes behind you as a kickstand, left hand meets the right knee. Twist, gaze can go towards the back wall, towards your right shoulder. Twisting up and around through the belly. And switch. Left hand meets right knee. You might hear some cracks, and that's okay. It means your body is just getting adjusted to these different poses. And change back to center. Inhale, arms come up. Exhale, hands come down in front of you, forward fold. Walking the fingertips out in front of you. Gaze looks down towards your mat. And then inhale, slowly make your way back up. And then moving on to tabletop position, coming onto hands and knees. Hands and knees are parallel with one another. Inhale, bringing your belly button to your spine, tucking the tailbone in. Gaze looks down towards your knees for cat. And then exhale, arching the back, bringing the crown of the head up for cow. So inhale, cat. Exhale, cow. 2 more rounds. Inhale, cat. Exhale, cow. Last one. And then return back to a neutral spine. Lifting up the left leg to straight here. And take a moment to find your balance. If you feel stable right here, start to get light in the right fingertips, enough to lift up the arm. There should be one straight line from the fingertips to the toes. And then inhale, let's find a crunch, spinning the belly just like in cat pose. Right elbow meets left knee. Extend. Inhale, crunch. Extend. Last time. Crunch. Extend. Keep it elevated. Let's maintain our balance here. For an added challenge, we'll kick back that left foot. Reach the right arm around, grabbing the front sole of the foot. Slight arch in the back here. First balancing posture. And release. Right hand, left knee meets the mat. Right leg lifts. Finding 3 points of contact here. Making sure to spin the thigh in. Keeping the hips squared, spinning the thigh in towards center. Left arm reaches up. Inhale, crunch, right elbow, left knee. Extend. Inhale, crunch. Extend. Last time. Crunch. Extend. Holding here. Keeping your balance. Maybe shifting your weight slightly forward or back, whatever you need. There should be equal weight in your knee and your hand. And then inhale, kick the foot back. Left arm reaches around, grabbing the front sole of the foot. Kick. Opening up the shoulder blade. And change. Both hands and both knees meet the mat. Coming onto your toes, lift the knees, push the hips back, downward facing dog. So just take a moment here to pedal out the feet. Get used to this pose as we'll be revisiting it several times during this practice. Pushing into the hands, feeling the heels sink farther down towards the mat. And change, shifting the weight forward, coming into a high plank. Wrists in line with shoulders, heels over the toes. Chaturanga. So chest is going to come forward, elbows in line with shoulders, come all the way down. Inhale, use the hands to push the chest through, upward facing dog. Exhale, coming onto the toes, push the hips back, downward facing dog. From down dog, you're gonna lift the heels, bend at the knees, walk or hop all the way in between hands, meeting at the front of your mat, forward fold, and then inhale, come all the way up to stand, Tadasana mountain pose. So we're gonna move on to Sun A and Sun B, which are full body flows to get your body ready for some of the more advanced poses that we'll be offering later on in class. So starting with Sun A, meet at the top of your mat in a Tadasana mountain pose. Inhale, arms come up, extend, exhale, fold, hands come down, bend the knees if you need to. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, fold, bend the knees, step the right foot back, followed by the left, chaturanga. Bending at the elbows behind you, keep them close together. Come all the way down, inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, hips go back, downward facing dog. Inhale, heels come up high, bending at the knees again. Hop or walk in between hands, meeting at the top of your mat again. Forward fold, inhale slowly, come all the way up to stand. Moving on to Sun Salutation B. Finding chair pose, hips sit low, knees are in line with the ankles, arms come up. Tucking the tailbone in, squeezing the belly button to spine. Sink lower in the hips, lift the chest up just a little bit higher. And then exhale, fold. Step the right foot back, followed by the left, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, bring the hips back, downward facing dog. And you can repeat that sequence as many times as you want to just get familiar on your mat, get your body flowing, bringing your heart rate up. But we're gonna move on since this class is only 20 minutes. Meaning back on your mat, downward facing dog. Right leg lifts, extend. Inhale, knee to nose, crunch. Extend. Inhale, crunch, step it through in between hands, coming up for a high lunge. Front knee in line with the front ankle. Moving into Warrior 3, which is our first balancing posture. So slowly bringing the weight forward into the front foot, getting light in the back toes. Start to lift up. Hands can come to a prayer pose, just hovering here for a moment, finding balance, and change. Bending the front knee, stepping the left foot back into a high lunge. Open up Warrior 2, pivoting the back foot. 45-degree angle, side angle pose, flipping the palm, reaching forward. Right elbow finds right knee. Gaze can look up towards the extended arm. And inhale, come up to rise, flipping the palm, reaching forward, reverse warrior, creating an arch above your head, opening up the front side body. And change, cartwheeling the hands back down to the mat, right foot steps back to meet left, chaturanga. Chest leans forward, squeezing elbows and shoulder blades behind you, come all the way down. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, bring the hips back, downward facing dog. Other side, left leg lifts. Inhale, knee to nose, crunch. Extend. Inhale, knee to nose, step the left foot in between hands, coming up for a high lunge. Feeling light in the back toes, knee in line with ankle. Start to bring the chest forward, getting light in the back toes, lift, Warrior 3. Again, hands can come to prayer. Finding stability here as you start to straighten out the standing leg, holding here for a moment. Finding a T in the body positioning. And change, step it back, high lunge. And then opening into Warrior 2. From Warrior 2, flipping the left palm, reaching forward, left elbow finds the right knee, side ankle pose. Again, gaze looks out towards the lifted hand. And change, inhale, come up, flip the palm, reach forward, reverse warrior. Cartwheel the hands back down in the mat, left foot steps back to meet right, chaturanga. We love our chaturangas. They keep us moving. They keep the heart rate up for sure. Inhale, heels come up high, bend the knees, hop in between hands, coming at the front of your mat. Inhale, come all the way up to stand, one vertebrae at a time. Eventually meeting in Tadasana mountain pose. So now moving on to a balancing posture, tree pose. You can be anywhere on your mat here. We're gonna start with the right side. Inhale, right knee comes up, 90-degree angle, opening up the hip, coming onto either the calf or the inner thigh, maybe assisting your foot to get there. Hands come to heart center, finding stability here. Think about bringing your energy in and up as we start to grow tree branch arms. Maybe opening up the hands, taking a swaying motion. Challenging this posture in any way you can. And let this posture be playful and however you want it to be. If you want to practice coming side to side, taking cactus arms. If you want to bring the arms out to a T, whatever you want to do, this is your time to play with it. All right, we'll slowly inhale, lift, and come down. shake it out. Moving straight into the opposite leg, left leg lifts. Open up the hip, coming onto the calf or the inner thigh again. Hands come to heart center, lifting up, bringing everything in towards center. Core is staying tight and strong. Inhale, hands will come up. Maybe taking swaying tree branch arms, doing a variation of what you did on the other side. Letting this be playful. Maybe taking some side bends. Remember to keep breathing throughout the whole duration of this process. Keeping the core engaged. And change. Hands come down and shake it out. We're gonna meet back at the front of our mat. Forward fold. Stepping the right foot back, followed by the left. Push the hips back into a downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg lifts. Open up the hip. Finding 3 points of contact. Rotating the thigh back in towards center. Inhale, knee to nose. Step the foot in between hands. Coming up into a high lunge. This time with the left knee down. Sinking into the hips here. We're going to add in an extra back bend. So pushing the hips forward here. Getting a nice stretch in the front thigh. This is a really good prep for full splits as well. Bring the arms behind you for shoulder rinse as we pull, opening the chest forward. Gaze looks up towards the ceiling, finding a slight back bend. And change. Hands come back down. Left knee lifts. Right foot steps back to meet left, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, bring the hips back, downward facing dog. Left leg lifts, open up the hip. And change, rotate back through towards center. Inhale, knee to nose. Step the left foot in between hands. Coming down onto a knee. Inhale. Arms come up, low lunge. Remember to sink in towards the hips, bringing the hips forward towards the front of the room. Interlacing the fingertips behind you, squeezing the shoulder blades. Inhale, gaze looks up towards the ceiling. Finding a back bend, be really active in this pose. And change, bring the hips back, hands come down onto the floor. Back knee lifts, left foot steps back to meet right, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, hips go back, downward facing dog. Inhale, heels come up high, bend the knees, hop or walk in between hands. Come all the way up to stand again, Tadasana, mountain pose. So moving on to our final posture before our cool down, which is dancer pose. It is a full body stretch, so definitely take advantage of all the work you put in this whole class to lead up to this final posture. So finding a moment of balance as well as strengthening in the back and the legs. Starting in the front of your mat here, right arm extends up towards the ceiling, left foot kicks back, finds the left hand. So starting with the kick back first before you bring the chest down. So gaze still looks up towards the ceiling, fingertips are high, kick back. Finding a nice bow here. If this feels stable, then we'll start to bring our chest down, finding an even bigger arch, kicking back even more, staying strong, kicking a little bit harder, arching your back just a little bit more, maybe bringing the leg as close as you can to fully straight, and change. We'll slowly come out of it the same way we came into it, finding balance here and release. Arms come down. Nice job, guys. Remember, wherever you landed in that pose, it's okay. It took me forever to get to that point, so repetition is key. Just keep doing it. Next side, left arm reaches up, right hand kicks back, finds the front sole of the foot, and kick. Maybe you notice that this side is way easier, or maybe you notice that it's harder. Our bodies are not symmetrical, so how a pose feels on one side might be completely different on the other side. So finding your kick back, arch in the back, using the strength in the legs. The harder you kick, the easier it gets. And then we'll start to bring the chest down, start to straighten the leg. If you guys fall out of it, no worries. I fall out of it all the time, and that is part of the practice. You're gonna fall way more times than actually getting it, I guarantee that. And slowly come out of it the same way you came into it. We'll meet back into mountain pose, Tadasana. Let's take a deep inhale through the nose and sigh out through the mouth. letting go all of that heart rate that's building up. Let's bring it down and slowly make your way back down onto your mats for our cool down. We'll make our way down to an easy seat, finding the same position that you started with in the beginning of class. Palms can rest facing down above the knees. Let's take another deep inhale through the nose. Chest expands, and then exhale, side out. Let it all go. We'll take a moment, bring the right hand down to the side, left arm reaches up and over. Finding another side stretch, and change other side. We'll come back to center. Right leg extends out to straight. Left foot meets in the right inner thigh. Janu Shirshasana, or one-legged hand to knee pose. So facing the right side, inhale, arms come up. Exhale, forward fold. If you can't quite reach your toes, you can land on the shins instead. So finding whatever variation of this pose your body goes into. Bringing your forehead down close to the knee. And then inhale, slowly come up to rise, switch. Left leg extends, right foot meets the left inner thigh, facing towards the opposite direction. Inhale, arms come up, exhale, fold. Again, remember you can land on your shins instead. So the goal is here, we're bringing our forehead down to our knee as much as we can. Taking deep inhales and exhales in each of these postures. Letting our heart rate come down. Slowly make your way back to center. Finding a wide-legged forward fold. This doesn't have to be a super intense forward fold. Just get into whatever comfortable position your body goes into here. And then interlacing the fingertips behind you, finding a shoulder rinse as you go down. Head leads. Maybe your head touches the mat, maybe it doesn't. Whatever variation you land in, that's okay. And change. Slowly come up onto your knees. Bringing our hands to our lower back. Creating an arch in the back. Gaze looks up towards the ceiling. One last spinal stretch. Inhale back to center. Bring the knees out wide, soles of the feet to touch. Sinking back into your hips, walk your hands out into a child's pose. So stay there for a few more breaths if you'd like, and just listen to my voice as I end this class. Child's pose always feels really good at the end of class, but if you want to take a full body shavasana, you can just lay out if that feels better on your body. Letting the calmness of my voice guide you into the end of your practice. I really appreciate everybody who's stayed with me this long towards the end of the video. Hopefully this 20 minutes allowed you guys to just get out of your head and be really present in your body, on your mat, in your own time. But I'm just gonna end with this quote that I saw, which really inspired me, so I hope it'll inspire you all. It goes, "And the people stayed home and read books and listened and rested and exercised and made art and played games and learned new ways of being and were still and listened more deeply. Some meditated, some prayed, some danced. Some met their shadows, and the people began to think differently, and the people healed." And that quote is by Kitty O'Mara. And I'm just gonna leave it at that. So when you guys leave this video and carry out throughout your day, hopefully that is something you can take with you. So I really appreciate everyone being here today. We'll end with a big inhale. Arms come up, hands to heart center. All together, namaste. Thank you all for being here today. I appreciate your time, and if you like these yoga videos, I'd love to make more. I was actually surprised with how well I enjoyed it, with not having a real audience, but having a video audience. So during this time when I can't teach physical classes, I hope I can still reach out to people who need this. So I'll see you guys later. Bye.
I am who I'm meant to be. I am who I'm meant to be. Over and out again. My future needed clarity, so I could see how you